Is on. Hey, everybody, listen. Right now, invite someone. Invite someone to get on Periscope. If you're at work and you can sneak it, invite someone to get on. Here's why I'm doing this. I'm presently in Albany, Georgia, with Bishop Victor Powell and his brother, and of course, you know, two of my ministry sons. I preached last night, did the best I could, but anyway, I'm sitting here and we're sitting here having a conversation about just church leadership, and it is just, and I'm sitting here going, okay, people got to read, people got to see this, because this is like crazy. And so, Pastor, what do you think is the biggest challenge in the church today?
Two or three things. I think some of the biggest challenges that we face, primarily in certain circles in terms of church, is number one, we don't have a culture of second man training.
It's major.
Second man training. We have a culture where everybody wants to be a first man, which leaves many times our churches fragmented, which also inhibits us many times from leaving legacy, longevity for years, because often in many cases what we're dealing with, we can't train people because they're not with us long enough, and most of the time they want a platform of their own. Therefore, prematurely, I can't train them into sonship. I can't train them to become real leaders in the house. For example, if a man of God, woman of God has a team of people of 10, and 8 of them believe in their own hearts that they are senior leaders, they will never be able to serve present vision with their whole heart and passion, because they feel a need to get what they can from you so they can go on to become a superstar in ministry. So I think some of the challenges is we don't train young leaders to build their lives around a vision and a passion. For instance, here it is, you have this great assignment to the region of Jacksonville. You need leaders around you who are not on their way somewhere, and they see you as an apostolic father and a leader, that they could let you pour into them so you can build a legacy hundreds of years once you're gone.
You know, it's interesting because you mentioned this whole paradigm about Joseph.
Yes, sir.
And you said something very powerful, which is Joseph is the greatest second the Bible has ever seen. He was never first.
Never first.
And it's strange how many churches have been started by seconds.
Yep.
I mean, started by men and or women whose sole call or assignment was to a pastor.
Absolutely.
But because they so crave their own success, independent of the leader, they ciphered off of another person's assignment that which was assigned to them, and they became engaged in controlling the mindset of people that should have been simply the assignment of someone else.
Yeah, because I think it's funny you mentioned.
You want to move the play? Listen, this live, man. We at breakfast.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, we at breakfast. You need to invite somebody. We're only going to do this for a few more minutes. I just wanted y'all to get in on this. I mean, it's so much been said already, Tim. So invite somebody. Get on there. Invite somebody. Tell somebody. Get on and listen. If you got any negative comments, keep them to yourself today. We're going to block you because we ain't got time for you today. Because the people who watch this, the pastors who watch this, the people who replay this is going to be kingdom stuff. And this dude right here, whoo, he's one of the smartest leadership people I've met in a long time. I would invite him. Now, I ain't his manager, but I would invite him. If you want somebody to help you develop leaders, because he's coming to Jacksonville, I would invite him. Okay, go ahead. That's the commercial, man. But it's crazy because I think that you have tapped in. We've tapped into something. The reason why we can't win the world is we can't even win ourselves.
Can't win ourselves, right? We've developed a culture, Bishop, of getting our worth from the mic.
Ooh, don't do that.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Our steam from the mic. That's
Don't do
where
that.
our steam comes from. And so therefore we've got sons and daughters around us who love us, love ministry, love the vision, but that's where the work is. We've made that the destiny.
Well, you just, I got to drink something on that.
And so it's important that we spend time with our leaders and get our leaders healthy. Let's talk about healthy. Let's talk about where do you get your steam from? Where do you get your, what is this really about? Because I think, and even us who are senior leaders have to always go back to a place where Christ, He's my worth, not what I do, because I'm not going to do this forever. And then develop teams around us who our worth is not the place that you're at, where if I get that, then I feel better about myself. So we have to really, really talk to our teams about basic stuff. Where does the self-esteem come? Where self-worth comes from? Then we have to let people see the unedited version of who we are. Because what they're aspiring for, Bishop, is they don't know that when you do your broadcast, there's hours of editing done before you put it on television. And every preacher that's on television, it's an edited version of who they are now. But you have sons and daughters who's looking at the edited version of what ministry looks like. And I want to be that. Then prematurely launch themselves into a grace that they never had. Wow. This is why we have leaders prematurely dying, prematurely having strokes and heart attacks and you name it, because we're operating in a sphere or influence that we were never called to.
And even falling victim to bad marriages. I mean, we both understand.
Absolutely.
Falling victim to financial mismanagement because when you don't have an appropriate circle around you, you end up being seduced into places that ultimately works against the authenticity of God's call in your life.
Absolutely.
And it's frustrating for God because He's put His name on us. And so at some level, we've got to develop that. You know, here's what's deep. There were some seconds looking at us, watching us right now. There's some seconds.
That's good.
Some of you have decided you want to be first. Here's your problem though. Your being first is going to disrupt what God is trying to do with the first, to set you up for your greatest season of being second.
Come on, man.
Joseph rode in a chariot. Joseph lived in a palace.
In the palace.
And at the end, Joseph had greater influence than Pharaoh because he ensured the success of Egypt.
Absolutely.
There are times when I think, like right now, Elder Scott Cotton is my second, been with me 19 years. 19 years. One of the things that he conquered was the need to go pastor.
Has to be conquered.
It has to be conquered. Now, I know some of you are saying, oh, you just saying that because you don't want me to leave. But here's the reality. Go ahead and leave and see how this works.
Right.
And hold on, come in for a second. What's your name?
Aisha.
Aisha, listen. Wave to the people at Periscope. Okay, Daisy. Okay. She served us today. If you come to Cracker Barrel in Albany, see Aisha. All right, there you go. All right.
Thank you.
Listen to me, guys. And this is crazy, man, God, because I think a part of the challenge is that the church, particularly African American church, does not do a good job of developing support teams and then giving meaningful affirmation to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so,
meaningful affirmation, significance to who you are and what you're doing. Absolutely.
And so a lot of times, people are finding their worth with the mic, but they also find their worth in supplanting or surpassing the father or the mother. And the attitude almost becomes, in order for me to prove how anointed I am, I have to be able to do it better than you did.
Absolutely.
And it's not, and here's what's dangerous. I didn't compete against my father. I just became what my father planned and birthed me to be.
Absolutely.
Now, if that means then that I pastor a larger church than Frank Guns, or if it means that I travel with Frank Guns and travel, it does not negate Frank Guns. In fact, because of where my brother and I are in ministry, my dad gets great honor
Absolutely.
People honor my father because of his sons.
Sons.
Yes.
Sons should not devalue their father or their mother. Sons should bring honor. Proverbs says that a son brings honor to the father, and to the mother. And so we got to change this whole concept. Then we need a radical reconstruction of how we understand sonship. I'm going to throw out a word, daughtership.
Yep.
And what all of that means in light of the fact that we've got thousands upon thousands of storefronts. Some of them are led by seconds.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely. And when you get out of your grace, and see, you can be a second person, but if you get out of your grace attempting to be a number one, you can't experience the success. And this is what we don't. The Bible is full of all seconds. Second successful people. Jacob is a second. He's a second.
Oh, love and mercy.
And what's so interesting about Jacob being second is the Bible says that God, now he supplanted his brother, but the Bible says in Romans that God hated Esau. Now, why would God hate the victim? Let me say that again. He hated Esau, but Esau was the victim. Esau was the one that the legacy and everything, or the inheritance, was stolen from, but he loved Jacob. Because there's this reversal, because often what you have here is the Bible says that Jacob comes out of the womb wrestling and got his hand on the heel of Esau. Esau did not value the blessing of being number one. So Jacob says, Jacob is a second who God chooses to be a number one. So one of the things that we got to understand about being number second is that if it's meant for you to be a number one, God will orchestrate the number one in your life. The other thing, Jesus was a second.
I knew you were going to go there. He really was.
He was the second
Adam.
last Adam. He is this second who successfully, and you don't hear him wrestling with his worth because he's second. You don't hear him wrestling with, well, I had to stand in line. He is in his assignment, successfully completing his mission in the earth, and we're talking about him right now.
And it's interesting is those who are first must be secure enough to empower those who are second, so that the second doesn't feel like a pawn in the first need to have subservient people around them who are codependent on their genius.
Absolutely.
Seconds only work when first is comfortable, and first only work when seconds are excellent.
Absolutely.
And when they work together, they create this dynamic model of how all of this accomplishes the purpose and the plan of God. Okay, we gotta go. That's it. That's all I'm gonna give you. That's all I'm gonna give you. We can't give you no more. We can't give you no more. But listen to me. Tell somebody to replay this. Send this to somebody. Tell them you need to replay this. Share this because pastors particularly, this is something you need to hear. And I just wanted you to hear us at breakfast. As you can see, we just got finished eating. We getting ready to hit the road to go home. But man, this is crazy. Love you guys. I'm gonna hit y'all up tomorrow on Periscope. Be blessed, everybody.